You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Following After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Following After Show.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 4 of The Following Season 2. It's a family affair.
I actually don't know the song.
You don't know the song? Oh, that's so sad.
Slide the family stone.
Boom.
But I don't know.
It's
I can throw just about anything, Nando.
It's before your time, Jules.
You can do anything.
Before my time, actually, believe it or not.
Was
Is
there
this
a
before your time?
It was before.
I'm not sure.
It was before his middle-aged time.
It's not before Nando's time.
No, nothing's before Nando's time.
Sorry. We have a show to start. Sorry.
Well, we are so excited you guys are joining us here for the following. We are joined tonight. This is, to me, this is huge. This is
a family
so exciting.
affair. It's a family.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Braswell is here tonight.
Oh, that guy.
Hey. Here I am.
He's been here the whole time. He's just been sleeping.
I'm here.
He's been sleeping.
I'm here and very happy to be here. We're all in the same room together.
Joe's been on special assignment. He's been all over the world.
Just like the old days.
You know, where were you, Joe?
All over the world.
All over the world.
You name it, he was there.
Can't tell.
But tonight, he has blessed us with his presence. We are also joined, of course, by the fantastic, incomparable Nando Velasquez.
Wow, thank you very much for that.
Incomparable.
I have not been traveling the world. I've been pretty local.
Sadly, right here in Los Angeles.
Sadly, in Los Angeles.
And we are also joined by the lovely Julia Cearly.
Hello, I've been chained up in the AFTERBUZZ Studios. It feels like
Now you're just bragging.
Wow.
I'm here all the time.
Oh.
Like, I don't know.
And I'm happy to be with you guys. I'm Joe Sanfelippo. What do you say? Said something
Nothing.
inappropriate. All right.
Nothing.
No, I was going to say it's like Black Snake Moan, that movie.
Oh, no, I've never... yes, I know what you're talking about. I didn't see it. All right.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. Was it Dexter?
Let's talk about the following.
Yes.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Following.
We got some new stuff this week. This is a pretty exciting episode. All kinds of things got changed around. We got to meet our girl Jana. Jana's got Joe's back. Jana's also got a little Agent Mendez in her past. We got some kids swapping back and forth.
That was a revelation, now wasn't it?
That was a good one.
I didn't see that coming.
You made me quit the FBI, and so I love Joe now. I don't know. That's pretty serious.
That's right.
That's a natural progression.
That's how it works. You quit the FBI, you fall in love with Joe with Joe Carroll.
Yeah, well, I would.
I would too. And then we've also got, of course, we got Ryan Hardy doing his due with Max. We've got Lily Gray chasing, putting her family together. We find out who she is. Billionaire, adopts kids all over the world, and we got a little insight into Lily Gray. Maybe why she's taking the boys and making them into serial killers. Maybe they led her down the path, but she loves them so much she wants them to have like-minded people around her.
I'm really loving this Lily Gray. I'm really loving this performance. I was kind of out. I mean, I was really towards the beginning. I knew, it was just the easiest, most telegraphed thing in the world that she was a follower from the get-go, for me at least. I mean, from that she was going to turn. But once she did, I was like, meh, this is going to be boring. And then when she came out as her true self, I'm like, oh, she's interesting.
That's it, right?
She's got something going. From the person we met her on the subway to who she is now, like, she's amazing.
Right, from cowering victim to international superstar, billionaire, speaks 97 different languages, got people from all over.
I love the transition.
Very well traveled.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to see her in her elements, and when she really came alive coming into that ginormous, gorgeous mansion.
Yeah.
Where is that? Criminy. That place is gorgeous.
All I know is
upstate New York somewhere.
Joe Carroll's got a lot of mansions.
A lot of mansions.
He does. People with big houses just like to give them to
He
him.
just got mansions. He's got like mansions on mansions on mansions.
Do you know what I bet is in that mansion?
He's like Kanye West.
I bet there's a goddamn foosball table in that mansion.
Like pool table.
I was thinking that actually this works out so much better. This house works out so much better than season 1 because you know, it's believable. It's actually believable that this woman is the Angelina Jolie of serial killers, because she's just adopting kids from all over the world. And at least it kind of makes sense, you know. It makes more sense for a foosball table in a family house than you know, some charter membership with who knows what mercenary club that Carol gets his followers from.
Sure.
You know, this actually seems a lot more believable to me than the house in the first season.
Julia, I cut you off. You were saying something important.
I don't remember what I was going to say. All I know is that she was super badass in this episode. And I think the sort of point I was sort of not eloquently stating was that seeing her from what we said, this cowering victim to this person sort of delving into Ryan Hardy's psyche, and then at the end of the last episode she's revealed as to what she is. But this episode, when she walks into her family awaiting her, and she just has this air about her, and she seems at home, like who she's supposed to be, and she's hot as all hell, man.
Yeah,
so it is.
I don't know. I was digging her. I really liked her in this episode.
I like your analogy. This is the Angelina Jolie of serial killers. I think that's beautiful. and you know, we call the whole season "Desperately Seeking Brad Pitt." I mean, that's what we're doing, right? We're trying to find. We're
She's trying to get her Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
We're finding the daddy. But I really, you know, it's funny. Sometimes you see a character who really only looks complete when they have their whole family around them, and when you get her in her family and she's in her element and she's speaking French, and there was something else, wasn't there?
She was motherly.
It was wonderful. Yeah, and she was motherly, and she had those two boys and the other two boys, and she had a total of 4 boys and the cook, right?
She had 2 sets of twins.
Yeah.
Now she has Emma.
And she had that other girl. I couldn't catch the other girl's name.
Yeah,
The other French girl's name that she met right before Emma.
Not Giselle, the other one.
Yeah, there was another French girl.
Giselle.
Yeah, she was a cook. I think. I don't know if is she adopted or is she just a cook?
I think she's adopted, but she probably also cooks. They save lots of money on overhead. With all these kids, they put the kids to work.
These kids,
She's also economic.
multi-talented serial killers here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if you get first train them all to kill.
But her homecoming seemed like a motherly homecoming. I mean, it reminded me of when my mother would go out of town and then comes back, and a nice big hug, and how have you been? What have you been learning? What have you been doing? Like, hey, Mom.
Well, not just
you guys have a nicer house than I thought. I mean, when you guys
you never saw my childhood home?
No, it's a beautiful mansion in upstate New York.
This was a shack.
Well, you know, not just that, but also even I think we all assumed that Emma and Lily were going to be at odds this week. I believe we predicted that. I believe we were all wrong on that. That we all felt that Emma and Lily were going to be at odds, and she was so welcoming to Emma. She's like, I wrote down her thing. It's just you know, we welcome you. We're so happy to have you here.
Let's talk about that in a few minutes, because I think that's only as long as Emma stays in her place. But I want to get there. I want to get to talk about that.
Yeah.
Before we do, though, Mr. Nando Velasquez.
Yes.
Give me your impression of this episode. What is it? What leapt out at you?
Well, I think what leapt out at me, we just started talking about it. Everybody, from the very first scene with Jana, when we were led to believe that perhaps Joe is going to do a home invasion, probably take over this house, or he has some reason to see her, and to see this woman's look on her face when she recognizes Joe, they're long lost friends. It was just a lot of homecomings going on, and I just, for some reason, like last week was all about people, like everyone's infatuated and in love with each other, and all of a sudden this one was just so much more welcoming. It felt like a homecoming to me, this whole episode, in so many different ways. And then I gotta say, Giselle just like stepped up a couple of notches at the end of the episode too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, she was pretty damn badass. So I love this episode. I just noticed for the first time how different this season is in this episode, because it's just the pacing's different. They really revamped this season. We haven't seen one flashback.
No, that's true. We haven't seen
one flashback at all this season.
Yes,
so
we
the
have.
pacing.
Well, and
we have.
In the very first episode, we saw a flashback to Ryan Hardy's partying ways.
That's right. You're right. We actually did see a couple, but we haven't seen one in a while. It hasn't been like a.
It hasn't been the weekly device.
It hasn't been a gimmick that they used all last season, and I think it really shows. The show flows a lot better because of it. So
I agree.
I think I agree with that. I think that they've definitely made some adjustments to really not just kind of the structure. I think that, you know, in the storytelling, but one of the main adjustments is these characters. I mean, introducing these characters. I think the characters we're getting now are, no offense to last season, are a lot stronger. in other words, we're shows grounded with Ryan Hardy and Weston, right? And it's but it's also grounded on the other side by Joe and Valerie Curie. But we now have the introduction of the Frenchie, Femme Fatale, and Connie Nielsen, and the twins, and these people are all sort of like, I have genuine interest in all these characters. All these characters are actually interesting to me, like what they're going to do on both sides of the law. I'm interested. I'm still the FBI side, not so much, but Weston has stepped up. I'll talk about him later. I think Weston, our boy,
still a follower,
Ashmore, the follower, has really sort of stepped up his game and his presence, and he's is looking, and I think he's a way more compelling figure for me than he was last season. I don't know. I feel like the week. Well, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I love it. I love it. I love the show.
Wait. All right. You don't want to?
No, I'll get to it later.
All right, then, Jules, tell me your impressions of this show.
This wasn't my favorite episode of this season thus far. Not to say that it was a bad episode or I didn't enjoy it. I don't know. It lacked a little bit of depth for me, I suppose. I don't know if that makes sense. But what this episode did do was it gave our characters some more... what's the word? Just give us some more insight into who these characters are and what's driving them. Because before, in the last 3 episodes, they're just these floating caricatures, I feel like. Like, you have the sinister twin, and then you have the nice twin. And then you have the pretty, educated, beautiful art dealer, and now she's bad. But so now, like... I just feel like I have a little bit more insight into who these people are, what makes them tick, and now I am more invested into how the story is going to unfold.
Well, I got to say, I really enjoyed seeing. I like the interaction between Lily Gray and the 2 boys, and how there was a very definite difference in how she treated Mark versus how she treated Luke.
Yeah,
sure.
I love that. I love that, and I think that informs obviously who they are. Within the context of the family. I mean, we've all established that Mark is probably the more gentle of the 2, if you could be a gentle serial killer, and Luke is probably the more brash and outrageous.
Well, there's a dominant one, there's a non-dominant.
There you go. That's a great term. And clearly, Mom loves Mark a little more, but she can count on Luke more.
I mean, a little bit of dipping back onto one of other shows, little Norma.
Yeah, a little bit of something going on.
A little Norma Bates action there.
A couple of little touches there.
There were
gentle touches that were a little
that were very unpleasant.
Yeah.
She is one sexy mama.
With both kids at different points.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
with both. And I think she's playing them kids. Yeah,
she's playing them, playing up to their strengths, their weaknesses, and coaxing them in whatever direction she wants them to go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's a smart woman. Sexy mama.
She's a wily one.
Well, I want to thank you guys, whoever's listening on iTunes, for downloading us. We love that you're downloading us on the iTunes. And if you are downloading us, please feel free. We read everything you write, and if you would, please rate us. We love. What does we love, Joe?
5.
We love 5s.
That was my Joe Sanfelippo.
That was your Joe Sanfelippo. How was that?
Yeah.
So do it again.
5s.
That's pretty good. That was decent. That might be. You might have a better Joe Sanfelippo than I do.
I'm working on it for 15 years.
It's flipping good.
Hey, well, flipping.
Oh,
that's what you did there.
Oh, good.
And if you're listening to us on the iTunes and you're curious what we look like, you can go check us out on YouTube. Some of us are not bad looking, and the rest of us are Joe Braswell. Oh, did you hear what I did? That was mean-spirited.
I got it.
All right, Joe.
Yes.
Let's talk about Mr. Ryan Hardy.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's happening.
He's the character in the show.
No, that guy.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, listen. We did a full season with Ryan Hardy. Obviously, last year we had a lot of different. I think all the sort of different affectations that sort of made this character from last season are kind of gone this season. Like we talked about how they got rid of the whole heart situation.
Yeah, it seems to be gone, huh?
They got rid of the boozy kind of. He was always recovering, but they got rid of that whole sort of boozy thing. Mm-hmm. He's not as tortured, even though he had nothing happen with him. I don't know. He seems to be more together. This is more of a. Last season we saw the reluctant sort of Ryan Hardy with the flashlight, kind of like not wanting to be there, but kind of drug into this process. This year we're seeing this sort of vengeful vigilante Ryan Hardy, who's sort of obsessive and obsessed about Joe. I do like the way it's a slow build. between sort of like, him being quietly obsessive, because I think that when he does get to see Joe, when he does that conversation happens, there's going to be an explosion. Like, we're going to see him explode. I think that, Bacon is playing this very under the surface right now, which is kind of bothering me a little bit, because I want to see more emotion or more something from him. But I just really want him to give my boy Weston a break. Like, throw him a bone, for Christ's sake. Like, he's on, like,
he cares about him.
I know, but all last season he was like, "Where you going now, Ryan? What are we doing now, buddy? Hey, what are we doing? Oh, that's a good move, Ryan." This season he's like, "Ryan, come on, buddy, talk to me." And he's like, "Sorry."
Well, they've had the same scene like 14 times.
I know. Yeah. It's just, anyway, I would just throw the guy a bone. I want to see them working together again, which we'll see. So they're saving that. Mm-hmm. They're saving his emotional breakdown which is going to be some variation of like, everybody I touch, everybody who's close to me dies, and I love you, and I don't want you to be close to me. Is that right?
So that'll be after Max dies.
Well, I'm talking. That's his thing with
Weston. Yeah.
Well, he was even that way with Max today.
Yeah.
He said, "I don't want you to lose your job over me."
Yeah.
So not the same thing as death, but still.
Max is. We'll talk about predictions. Max is not going to make it, right?
There's no question.
She's not going to make it.
There's no question.
There's no way.
There's no question. Now, let me ask you this, because
the curse of Ryan Hardy.
There's no way around it, Mr. Death.
Yeah.
It just death.
Well, just finish. So I think I do like that we have this character, like sort of the slow burn. I think that we're gonna, hopefully it'll get to a little crescendo up, and we can see this Kevin. We can see Ryan sort of build until he becomes something a little more emotional. I like to see that. I am getting a little tired of this whole cat and mouse game with the FBI. Like, they bring him in, he's like, "I don't know anything." All right, get out of here. Like, I'm a little.
I don't know.
Well, that was great.
A little fatigued on that.
That was great when they arrested him, I thought, because it was like, finally we get some forward motion, and then it was just another slap on. It is a little funny, his interaction with the cops, like the two guys they're tailing him, like, "Oh, you're wearing sneakers today. Good job."
Yeah, that's funny.
I kind of like that Ryan Harding. He did that a little bit in season 1. When he was with Aiden Canto and Nick Delaney, when he was with them.
Well, let me ask you this, and I want to get everybody's opinion on this. Do you think that this new, he seems almost flippant to me this year?
Hardy?
Yeah.
Hardy?
And do you think that's an affectation? Do you think that's really something he's doing for the FBI? Is it kind of on purpose, or do you think he's really gotten to a place where he's almost zen about this whole thing?
Well, sorry, no, go ahead.
No, just briefly. For me, to continue with what's said, for me, it's that he's been through this experience of the FBI. Like, he's been through this rodeo twice in 2 major ways dealing with Joe Carroll. He's like, I know the FBI playbook backwards and forwards. I know how this show works. I know how this movie ends. I'm just going to do this on my own. So when he interacts with FBI, it's almost like, another show. It's almost like Spader does with the FBI Blacklist. Like, I know, like, I'm bored with you guys. I know your playbook. I know how you do it. Let me get back to hunting Joe Carroll on my own, because I can do it better than you clowns can. So there's a bit of disdain there. There's a bit of like dismissiveness. And I think that I agree. I think he is playing it that way, in my opinion.
Well, in a way, let me just interrupt. In a way, it's kind of like the FBI WTFs for season 1. I mean, Ryan notices that, so he's almost playing them like the Keystone Cops in a way. The way he's interacting with them.
They had an interesting moment in this episode between he and Mendez, where she's talking to him and she says that this cult that they're not done with you, they will kill you. And very matter of factly, he goes, "Probably." And I think that's his resignation with this whole Joe Carroll thing, is that he's accepting his fate, and he's not going to go down without a fight, and that feeling of vindication for the freaking FBI, who just muck it up everywhere they go, and for himself, and to prove himself to Joe Carroll. I think that he can't be bested by him. Mm-hmm. Right. That's my
still, at this point, they don't know for sure that Joe Carroll is even alive. I mean, at this point, the FBI doesn't know for sure, and Ryan's deal is still a theory. It's still a theory.
It's still a theory.
And he even said, like, it's conspiracy theories, but he knows.
Okay, so you think he knows for sure?
Who? Ryan?
Ryan.
Well, he knows in his heart and soul. He has no hard evidence. As he told Weston, like, I have no real evidence. It's kind of a conspiracy theory, but like, I know this dude's alive.
But they had that whole backstory with his half-brother or stepbrother,
half-brother
we had the whole thing
from England. And, I mean, he has that evidence going for him.
That's convenient, by the way.
Wish I had a half-brother I could blow up.
I got some evidence for you.
I do. You want one?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Joe Carroll has his brother.
He's barely been used.
If I have one out there, sorry, I'm not going to blow you up, buddy.
Well, here's the thing, because I don't know if you guys know, but Claire Matthews died.
Yes,
and Natalie Z is no longer on the show.
I heard that.
Which to me seems like how he's not playing this tortured every week is beyond my ability to understand, and I just felt like we should mention that, and so that's why I'm choosing to believe that Ryan Hardy's this is an affectation, because he's bleeding inside.
Yes,
because Claire is dead.
Technically, we're all bleeding inside.
I'm going to say something that may cause Joe to jump across the table, but I don't miss Claire.
You shut your mouth. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Don't you ever. Don't you? You got a set of balls, pal.
Let me rephrase that. Calm down. I miss Natalie Z because she's gorgeous and lovely. I don't miss Claire. I don't miss the character. I don't miss that. I don't miss Joey. I don't miss Claire.
Surely don't miss
Jody's
Joey.
in Witsack, so
he's in Witsack thing. And Claire, I don't miss the whole Claire back and forth, love triangle. What are we gonna do? Can
I just tell you how red in the face I feel I might be at this moment?
Natalie Z's wonderful and Justified. You should peep her out on that.
Yeah, she is.
She's great.
I'm not proud. I have nothing to do with what she does. I'm in love with her, and
we get it.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, enough said.
Okay.
All right.
I can talk Valerie Curry, because I'm quite fond of her.
Do you want to talk about Valerie Curry? I think we should definitely bring her up, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
I think she's gorgeous.
You think she's gorgeous?
Yeah. Oh, she's coming on the show. Oh no, I shouldn't.
Is she coming on the show?
I think she's coming in. She'll be on the show in a couple weeks.
Yeah, she's coming in.
Well, then don't creep her out. Keep it together, man.
I think she's all right. She's a fine actress.
Do you like the pink punky hair, or do you like the short red crop?
I like
it all.
I like everything she's doing.
I like it all. I kind of agree with Braz.
I like her.
Okay, we're gonna fight for her.
All right, Nando. I want to talk about Lily Gray and the fam some more.
Yeah, sure, of course. Let's talk more about it. We talked a little bit about the house and the fact that there's probably a foosball machine in there, or
a pool table for sure.
Or a pool table for sure. And the fact that she's like the Angelina Jolie. But look at this woman. She's worth $1.4 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Just saying.
No
hot take by Joe. Hot take. A lot of
money. 1.4 billion. If somebody offers you 1.4 billion, you take it.
That's more than 1.3 billion.
Football's on fire with his hot takes.
Yes, there we go.
Hot take alert.
She was born in Denmark, and she was taken up by this billionaire. And it was really interesting to hear her side of the story when she was talking to Emma about her past. She claims that she came from a violent family, that her father killed her mother, and her mother was a maid, and he felt, and I guess the maid for the I didn't write the name of the billionaire. But she was a maid for that same guy,
right? Him,
and that's why the father went crazy. But the twins, which got confusing because the twins were from a Russian maid as well, but I'm guessing that was a different one. Hilda Barkov was the name of the maid.
Yes.
Yes.
Who bore the twins?
Some twins.
Said twins.
Some said twins. We don't know for sure.
Because she obviously has an affection for twins.
I don't know very many Hildas who would produce twins of that complexion. What are your thoughts on that?
Russian maid.
Yeah.
So,
I'm thinking we could probably 80%. That's going to be the boys. That's going to be Mark and Luke.
The first pair of boys. You're talking about the two French, Afro-French kids that she said.
I'm just saying we don't know that those are her first children that she adopted. There could be many more out there.
I think just based on what the writers have shown us, I feel like they're strong with that way.
I'm just playing a little devil's advocate here. I'm just
and with 1.4 billion,
you can afford a lot of twins. A lot of twins.
What's that?
I heard that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
1.4 billion.
It's a lot of money. But it's really interesting because she has no violent past, but she claims to have come from a violent childhood, and she adopts kids who come from neglected families or violent families. From violence or neglect, she said, I believe it was. So it's really interesting. And again, it's just like, kind of like Joe was with season one. I remember we talked a bit about the purpose of a cult or a cult leader. They find what's missing in people, and that's how they get them into their cult. They find something that these people are missing, and they put like a little seed.
Yes.
She's done a perfect job of doing that with kids all over the world. She claims that Mark and Luke had a little special something, that she got to love them the way they were because they were different, and I guess she was alluding to their own violent tendencies, to the fact that they are killers as well. But I think a lot can be said that she's probably also planting that seed in all of the kids that she's adopting.
Very much so.
Yeah, because, I mean, look at Giselle, for example. I mean, I'm guessing she's another one of her adopted children.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain Giselle got to a certain place while she was killing poor David. I'm fairly certain Giselle got to a certain mental state.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting she got to a physical state.
No, I think it's both.
Well, maybe a little of both. Yeah,
She seemed to enjoy it.
That adrenaline rush she got when she killed David. Yeah, exactly.
I will say that I said at the top, but this whole introduction of the billionaires, serial killer Angelina Jolie is a great shot in the arm for this show, because I didn't, even though we're back to the mansion full of followers, which is a little dubious. I like this mansion full of followers. I like
better.
I like the idea of having this person be a foil to Joe, more so than Roderick was. Last week we had Roderick, and he was kind of in Joe's face, and I didn't really buy that. But I like the idea of. I'll say for predictions, but I think that they're going to clash at some point.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the difference between Roderick and Lily. Roderick came in, he set everything up, and then one day he shows up. And to be honest, even when we first met Roderick, I was kind of like, really? The build-up? This is the build-up for Roderick? Really? But at least with Lily, this is her world. She is a wild card still. I mean, it looks like from the end of the episode that Joe recognizes her, or at least he has some admiration for her. He was like, oh my. He did a little George Takei on her.
No.
Oh my. But there was a little bit of that. But she's still a wild card. We still don't understand what her true purpose is.
Yeah.
And she's even said... there was something funny that she said. She said, "Scars make."
It's a great line.
Scars make you look sexy. I think, right?
No, it was.
Wait, I'm paraphrasing really badly. It's somewhere around here. I know. Scars make us more interesting, and sexy. And who's more scarred than Ryan Hardy?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, emotionally and
so
physically.
really, there still is this. What side is she playing? What game is she playing? Is she putting them both at odds with each other? Is she really a caroler, or is she have her own agenda?
Well, I mean, let's talk about that, because here, to me, it's like a combination of Batman and Angelina Jolie for her. I mean, you have a character with unlimited funds. I mean, that is and that gives you for the
She's
writers.
Batman.
You know what I'm saying? For the writers, she really has. She's given them. They've given themselves a really a lot of places to go here.
Well, they gave us this because this is one of our big
beefs from last year.
Like, where's the money?
Coming from? Where do you get the armored?
Bulletproof helicopters.
Where are you getting this? It didn't make any sense.
The militia.
I really feel like they purposely said, okay, what didn't work from season 1 when we brought the house and all these people? Oh yeah, we needed somebody with funds, and we needed
Angelina Jolie / Batman,
and we needed a reason why people really were hanging out around playing pool. We needed a really good reason why they came to play pool
in the Sandals Follower Resort, or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Sandals, New England. It's really not as nice as the other ones.
The serial killer Club Med, when they're hanging around playing darts and
Club Med Syracuse. It's not as nice as the other ones.
But I do love, like, again, the introduction of Lily is great, because I'm interested. Not that I'm not interested, because again. I love the following. Obviously, we're doing the show, but one season of Ryan Hardy going back and forth with Joe,
cat and mouse with Joe,
with Valerie Curry there as in the middle, as well as Natalie Z, R.I.P. I mean, how are they going to reboot this and have that same dynamic? So to do that and tell us pretty much point blank, we have a whole new group of followers. We've got a new mansion. And Ryan Hardy's going to still be chasing her around. I'd be like, I'm here, like, well, now I'm not watching that. But now that we're here, I'm like, oh, that mansion's dope. Oh, and she's going to be great. And then Valerie Curry's a wild card. She's going to interact with all these people as well. The twins are good, and I'm excited again.
I like this resort.
Yeah, and I think structurally the
this
idea
is Atlantis. We were in Sandals last season. Now we're in Atlantis.
Oh, we feel like we're in Atlantis.
Season 3, they're going to be in a cruise ship.
Cruising! The love
The falls are playing shuffleboard.
It's all right.
And Joe Carroll have a captain's tubing hat on.
Jeez.
All right, go ahead.
Structurally, this is what I wanted to mention. I'm sorry, I knew there was something I wanted to talk about. I like the idea structurally of not all resting on Joe, because I think that's kind of where one of the other things that happened last season where it went off the rails is you had all these characters who had more interesting ideas than Joe did, more power than Joe did, and more access to more interesting people than Joe did, and yet Joe was somehow in charge, and it seemed relatively unmotivated. I like this way.
Chessboard, we never saw. We never got the answers to.
And remember that caper we kept waiting to happen? Like, there's $1 billion caper somewhere.
Yep.
Nope.
Yes.
So this way, we've eliminated the need for the $1 billion caper, which I like structurally, and you also have this really interesting family that Joe's going to have to share power with because he don't have any money and he don't have any followers, and they have
just has a beard. He just got that lumberjack look.
And like I said, for the last couple of weeks, it's going to be a TV resurrection because TV rules do apply. Shave and a haircut, and he's a new man. And next week we saw the previews. Shave and a haircut, man.
Right, shave and a haircut.
Shave and a haircut.
You should try that.
Shampoo, 2 bits.
Ooh.
No, I mean, you know.
All right, Jules, let's talk about our girl Mandy. We haven't talked at all about Mandy.
Mandy was a little bit, I felt, on the back burner this week as opposed to the last couple of weeks where she was quite the driving force of the episodes. But that's okay because we really needed to delve into Lily and this family that I'm fascinated with, which you guys just talked about a lot, but we'll talk about it longer.
You can keep talking.
Oh, no, it's cool.
It's a podcast.
It is.
It's an hour long.
No, that's all right. I'm totally into Mandy. I wanted Mandy. Mandy is, first of all, we must note, is played by our girl Tiffany Boone. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure, I agree.
Tiffany Boone. And I do love, because you weren't here last week, but I do often comment on how teeny tiny her denim skirts are.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm really happy that Jana called her out on
there
that
you go.
and
Right.
tied her skirt down as she was exiting.
That's cute.
I was like, there you go, Jana.
Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody's got to do that.
And that's how they do it.
Pants on the ground. Pants on the ground.
Well, in Boone County.
Yeah.
In Boone County, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Boone County, Arkansas.
Denim is limited, therefore
It
you get
is.
really teeny tiny short skirts.
Well, I love Joe's line. He said she comes from a place with few resources and fewer proper role models.
Yes.
So I love that line.
I think what we saw in Mandy this week is really how she sees the world now in just terms of she and Joe. She and Joe against the rest of the world. He was her ticket out, and now she is 100% attached to him. Nothing else really seems to exist. It's like she's clinging to him and her skewed vision of what family and what a father figure is.
Well, what about her big scene when she was talking to Joe about whether or not to kill Jana?
Absolutely, and that's where I sort of came up with this idea that it is she and Joe against everyone else. No one really matters. Everyone else is disposable, if you will. It's about she and Joe moving forward in the world. That's what I think she sees, is the two of them together as a team, and everyone else is like I said, disposable. And he makes her feel, she has this wide-eyed innocence, it seems, and I think that comes from Joe making her feel like she is the only one in the room, and that's what his lore is, right? He makes you feel like you are the most special person, the number one person in the world, and I think now that he's emerged and they're entering into this family, and now like watching her watch him with Emma and seeing that this is an effect he has on other people, and that maybe she is not number one the way she thought she was, because it's been them holed up for a year.
Well, we're assuming Emma and her are going to go at it at some point.
It ain't going to be pretty.
We're assuming
she's
that.
Scrappy.
Yeah.
She's a scrappy little one from Boone County.
So is Emma.
One thing I definitely want to bring up about Mandy that I thought was interesting is obviously we saw her past over in Boone County with her mom, who was a prostitute, and we even mentioned last week about how we figured that she equates sex with love, most likely, because of the way, we were talking about whether Joe is going to probably end up sleeping with her, and I know I disagree. I don't think he is. I think he has morals. You guys thought he probably might. There was actually, we have our Wi-Fi's down, but there was actually somebody on the YouTube thing who's actually apparently felt the same way, but she's European, so she actually thought there's no problem with that. I'm like, okay, interesting.
Well, that was what I was saying last week. That is a bizarre American morality that we're okay with her killing her mother, but we would be really devastated if she and Joe started screwing until she turned 18.
That's why I thought it was interesting. I'm like, I wish I can pull this up. Her name was like Daniela Graff or something.
No, I read that. Yeah, I think she said she was European, but she liked the violence and the sex. So she's all good. Like, maybe I'm all screwed up.
My type of woman.
Well, coming from that background, I think Mandy, this is sort of prediction-ish, but whatever.
Yeah.
I think that after she sees Joe with Emma and she sees whatever Joe's past is with Lily Gray, I think she will revert to that mindset. The only thing she's ever known was watching her mother being a prostitute, and I think she'll try it. I think she'll try to seduce him in some way, whether it's founded or not.
Hold that thought a second, because what my point that I was actually going to make was that conversation she had with Joe about whether or not they should kill Jana. It's kind of like very similar to her relationship probably with her mom, where she thinks she equates sleeping with someone to love. She sees Joe in the same way, the way he kills people, and she sees his passion for it, and she wanted to kill Jana for love. She didn't care that Jana was on Joe's side, that she was helping both of them out. She just sees it as a way
So she thinks that killing someone raises her in his esteem and makes them closer.
Yeah, exactly. So I think she sees killing in the same way as she would have seen sex with her mom.
Let me toss out a different idea, because I wonder if it isn't possible that if you grew up with them. Now, granted, none of us probably can speak to this, but if you grow up with with watching guys come in and out of your mom's life, and they're all there to screw, and they're in and out, right? Your mom. I don't know that you'd equate sex with love. I think you would equate sex with business. I don't. I mean, and the only guy that stayed for a year, he continually watched other guys come in and.
You're saying a child would think in business terms, though? I don't think children think in business terms.
I don't know. I have no idea, but I wonder if I question whether or not she equates sex with love, because in her experience, sex did not equal love. Sex equaled money.
But sex equaled them coming back to her mom.
So you think, okay, all right, I can see that.
That was the allure. They come back for that. They keep on coming back because she has those wares to offer.
And the attention.
Okay, so the consistency of the guys returning over and over again.
Right.
That equal. Okay.
They're
there.
Happy. They're coming back because of what she's able to deliver.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, and this is the other thing that and I'm not a psychologist. I have no idea what that would how that would actually work out.
Yeah, we're just hypothesizing.
We're working it out here.
But I wonder. It seems to me that she had almost a complete reset of what her morality would be once they killed Mom, because what she said to Joe was, "We have to kill Jana." And she accepted from word go. She was operating, hanging out with the kid, playing in the backyard, standing in the kitchen. She was operating that whole time with the knowledge, like, well, we're going to have to kill her.
Yeah.
Right? That was her character.
She kind of felt sad about it. You can tell, yeah, she felt sad.
And so it was because I think with Joe, she is completely, the impression I got is that she's completely gone, you know what, everything Mom taught me, whatever that is, it's gone. And whatever this guy says is the new deal, and this is what's right.
Like she's reprogramming?
That's what I think. And so, like, well, first off, we've learned that if Mom knew where we were going, Mom is a liability, Mom has to be killed. So Jana knows where we're going, Jana's a liability, Jana has to be killed. And then, Joe's teaching her, no, she's our friend, it's okay. Your mom gave us no choice. Killing's what is he did the killing's a gift thing.
He said, that's the other thing, too. On one hand, he kills the mom because the mom had to be killed. But then he tells her death's a precious gift. It can't be given indiscriminately or it loses its value.
Right.
But he kind of had to kill. I mean, did he give a gift to Mandy's mom? I don't know. Well,
this brings me to my point of the evening, which I'm going to get to in a second.
You have Joe Braswell's point of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We need a stinger for that.
I just got a question. So an open question to the group.
Got it.
Maybe a couple of questions. Before that, I just want to comment on Mandy. I think that I love the Mandy character. I love the idea of this. I love the idea of what this represents. This person who's been sort of like, trapped in rural Alabama or Arkansas.
Boone County.
Boone County, Arkansas.
Her entire life.
36,000 people.
Her window.
Formerly Carroll County.
Got it.
Yep.
Her window to the outside world, to the adult world, is through crazy-ass Joe Carroll. Joe Carroll frees her, as she told her mom, staying here would have been like being dead anyway.
Yeah.
So we got to go. But when she's out into the world, she's like, oh, this is a big house, and it's how people live. And she's seeing the world through not only through her eyes, but through the eyes of Joe Carroll, like, and experiencing these new things. There's something really interesting about that character who is going to go out on her own for the first time into the big city, and with everything completely informed by Joe Carroll and killing people and his crazy logic. I think that is an interesting character to see how she grows and how she interacts and how she, like we talked about, how she is protective of Joe, in love with Joe, how she interacts with Emma, like all that to me, I'm interested in all that. So I think it's a great job Kevin Wilson in the game.
Well, I'm enjoying. I think I'm really going to enjoy during the process of this season of really understanding what Joe Carroll's draw is, what his appeal is. I mean, if you take the Emma character,
accent.
we what?
Accent, British accent.
Done, solved.
That's it.
I think Irish first. Irish is the sexiest.
Don't forget
Scottish. No, it's Scottish. Isn't it Scottish?
Is way
Scottish is the sexiest.
Scottish is pretty cool.
I mean, you're Sean Connery. You do that one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it for you.
Oh,
He pulls a knife. You pull a gun.
Thank you. Apparently.
No, I don't. If I did this close to you, you'd lose your mind.
How about Ian McGregor? How about him?
I can't do Ian McGregor. I'm sorry. I love you though.
I thought you're an actor.
No, I'm a bad one.
All right. So, but also, like, well, you also missed. Well, you didn't miss it because you saw it, but there was the James Purefoy, the Joe Carroll from last season, and like in the smoking jacket, like swirling the Bordeaux, like he's there's that guy. He's pretty charming.
No, but what I'm interested in is his creation. Is his creation of a follower from the very beginning, from like grassroots up to Emma. Like what is that?
because we saw hints of that in the flashbacks.
You saw a flashback.
Kind of cheating, like,
visiting him in prison, cut your hair, yada yada, kill your mom, blah blah blah. Sure.
Season 1 recap by Julia Cearly. Boom, write me a letter, cut your hair, kill your mom,
blah,
let's
blah,
go.
blah.
Boom. Yeah,
but so no, I'm fascinated by what this is. This Joe Carroll appeal.
I think the show needed that too. I think the show that's why it's a really cool character, a really cool thing, which gets me to my grand point. But go ahead.
Well, I think we figured it out. I mean, when he shows attention to these younger people, he doesn't do it with any kind of. It doesn't seem, at any rate, that there's any kind of personal agenda. He seems genuinely interested, and I think so few young people really get that from older folks, especially older folks with education and who know what they're talking about. And it's interesting. You know, I've got a 16-year-old daughter. You have daughters that are older. You know, when they're talking to you about their lives, you're always looking at it from a dad's perspective. So you're always trying to turn it into a morality lesson. You're always trying to make sure, okay, well, don't do that. You know, or if you're hanging out with these guys, okay, well, what if they start to, then don't take it, Jesus. You know, there's always that. You know, and there's none of that from Joe. No. It's just, we're going to talk. You're going to tell me whatever you're telling me, and I'm really going to listen to it. And I'm going to digest what you're saying, and I'm going to hear you, and I'm going to help you. And it's a totally different thing, and I think that there is so much power in that.
And I'm going to make you do really, really bad.
And I'm going to eventually have you do some whack ass shit.
Because the window into Joe is never through like, hey, come with me, we're gonna go kill people. It's always like they fall for him. Like Mandy didn't see him didn't see him kill anybody for years. I mean, for at least a year. I mean, she read up and saw the TV shows and everything else, but talked to him. So by the time it was time to actually kill someone, she was like, oh, well, whatever you do is okay with me, Joe.
She's all in
I'm
already.
all in, and that's kind of the appeal. But which brings me to my question. My
penultimate point.
My statement and my question. My statement is to back to what you're saying. I don't think I understand Joe Carroll. I don't know what I don't get this guy anymore. I don't get what motivates the character. I think James Purefoy is a fine actor.
Yeah.
I'm still interested in the show. I don't understand Joe Carroll's motivation or even how he's rolling. When he says death is a gift, which he used that a lot last season, I feel like I went the entire season kind of getting this. The whole entire season of last year was about him writing this novel, and simultaneously while writing this novel, him trying to get back his wife and his son, and also get revenge on Ryan Hardy. And the way he would do this is this grand plan that he's been scheming on for presumably years, creating all these followers to unleash the grand plan, right? And which we never quite saw, while he finishes the book. And that all happened. So this year, we see him, and he is like, and he had that scene, which is a well-acted scene, where he says, I failed as a father, I failed as a husband, and I failed as a writer. So I'm a failure. So all these things. So now that he's got his power back, what exactly is he going out to do when he finds all his followers again? Is he like, is it I'm going to get revenge on Ryan Hardy, or I'm going to just be a serial killer and just kill people? He doesn't do that. Is he going to go to the mansion and start reviving the cult? For what purpose?
Well,
what if he gets 150 million followers, or even 100 followers? What's for what? Now he gets all these people following him. Then he goes and does what exactly?
I kind of understand,
because he always had a message.
Yeah.
Is he gonna get revenge on Hardy? Like what's the question is, what is driving Joe Carroll?
He doesn't have a plan, though. He doesn't have a plan. I mean, even when he was talking to Jana, he said, can you do me a favor? Can you call? Can you check for me? Someone's trying to reach me. I want to know if it's safe to come out. Right. He has no plan. This is not the cocky Joe Carroll with, who's got this book planned out and has everything written in his mind till the ending. This is someone who's like, is it peeking his head out for a second? Is it okay? And I think what we're going to see, I mean, that one moment when he talked about death is a precious gift, that was a little bit of a return to form to Joe Carroll from season 1, but he's still not there. And I'm not saying that he's going to make sense. I don't think serial killers necessarily have to make sense for us to appreciate or to like. I guess it's a likability even to an evil character. But what I'm saying is that I think this next week or two is going to be crucial to seeing exactly where his plan goes. Because once he starts seeing who's following him, who's still with him, I think the old Joe Carroll is
It'll be
going to come
interesting to
back.
see how that's going to come out. But,
Yeah.
but my point is, he's not Travis serial killer. He's not bumping around, popping out of vans, killing girls, throwing people in basements. Like, he's not the serial killer guy. He's a grand.
He's an artist.
He's an artist, and he's a writer. He's all his plans. So why not stay in? Why not stay in Arkansas? Why not, if he leaves Arkansas, burns the house down for that one last kill? Why not go to Bermuda and just kick it? Like, why is he gonna go?
Like Hannibal Lecter.
His ego won't let him.
Okay. So what exposed himself? I mean, he's not only he's presumed dead.
Well, there's
he's escaped from prison. He's a mass murderer. Why is he gonna go like bumping around?
Ego. I think ego is a good answer.
I think ego's a good answer.
And well, let me ask you this though. I mean, I agree with you, Nando. I think he seems to me like a shadow of himself.
Sure.
Like he's broken. I mean,
broken.
And when we see him shave, I'm sure that's going to be a defining moment.
I'm telling you, these are Hollywood rules.
Yeah.
But as a serial killer, he shaves. He looks good. He's got the following back. Like who? What? Now, what does he do?
Well, that's the question,
How
right?
does he start killing?
Well, I think so far it's not really going to be up to him.
I think it's going to be up to Lily right now.
Yeah, it's not, and they're killing.
Angelina Jolie, Batman's going to make this call.
Lily's family is sort of killing in his name, in essence, and so he needs to. I feel that maybe he needs to. What?
Nothing.
He needs to.
Rage Against the Machine reference.
Oh, got it. He feels the need to grasp control of that.
Okay.
Because now they're
out there killing in
conducting
my
these
name.
atrocities when he has no control.
Right.
This is not his plan. I think he wants to exactly that, gain control. His ego won't let him just let these people run
enough
amok,
for anything.
saying it's for Joe Carroll without there being a grand picture, because everything he does is tableaued. Everything he does is art.
And Angelina Jolie must have a plan.
She's got to. No question. No question. She got a $1.4 billion plan.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I think is, ego. I mean, can you imagine if Joe Braswell, for example, can you imagine if like you were whatever, doesn't matter what the thing is, like say you're a huge superstar and you like essentially banished yourself to whatever island and you hear everybody just talking about you all the time, and you're bored to death, you grew a crazy beard, you've been hanging out with a hooker and her kid, and finally it's all come to a head and you got to bounce, and you know that there's people that are just talking and doing things about you.
Okay.
You know? I mean, what's he got else? There's nothing else for him to do. I mean, he's done the on the lam thing, and it sucks, and it drains him, and it gives him nothing.
And Ryan's still alive. I mean, we still haven't seen that moment when Ryan might be on the TV screen and Joe Carroll's watching, and he's just like, "Oh,
You ruined my book.
Yeah,
You ruined my family.
We still have not.
Everything.
He is still, as far as he's concerned, Ryan Hardy's just as dead as everyone around Ryan thinks Joe is.
There's still vengeance.
Yeah, there's still vengeance on his side. I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be some blood flowing once he finally spots Ryan for the first time.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go.
Will.
With it.
I'm very interested because I'm still trying to wrap my head around what makes Joe Carroll kill.
I very much hope that we get a real good that the writers give us something to kind of chew on. That's going to be,
because at this point he doesn't feel very villainy. He seems
not yet. Lily's the big villain right now in this season. So and that's why I said, who knows? What Joe's in her little web right now as well. So we get to see how that plays out.
Well, you know who else is in her web right now is our girl Emma, and Emma's being taken in by Mom right now. Yeah. And this is what I think is really interesting about this dynamic that I think is going to blow up like crazy. You guys are all saying that Mandy and Emma are going to fight, and I think that's true. But I think that Mandy and Emma and Lily are going to have some ish going on.
Oh.
Because
what kind of ish are we talking about?
Well, I think that this is unfortunately network, so
no shower scenes this season.
I doubt it seriously.
Okay.
Yes.
But I mean, I really do. I think it's interesting to watch Lily kind of enfold Emma and try to put her in the same category as all the other young people. I'm Mom. You're one of the nice kids, and we love you, and you're welcome here. And that's going to be fine for a hot minute. But Emma's not a kid.
Yeah, and Emma's not to be underestimated. Like
No.
even by the Frenchie femme fatale, who's like or the twins or the mom. Like Emma's rolling in the spot. Like okay. Let me survey the landscape and before I take over, because Joe is mine. Which, by the way, shout out to Valerie Curry for that great little sequence. She kind of classed up the joint with that sort of reunion of Joe.
Yeah.
That very.
She's an ugly
reunion.
crier. She's an ugly crier.
Yeah.
There.
Girl, ugly crier.
Hot girl, ugly crier.
Tonight on ABC.
I got to tell you,
Tonight on Fox.
maybe my TV just sucks because I cannot see so much of this show in the last couple of weeks. Their palette is so dark. I mean, there's just scenes that I'm missing, like the fight scene between Max and Giselle.
Yeah.
I couldn't see half of it. I mean, they're just gone.
Glasses.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're getting old.
Maybe I'm getting old. But Emma was, she was tearing it up there, man.
Yeah,
and you really
good.
felt that love. Oh my God.
And the frustration. I was really she really sort of brought, again, she makes me, again, I'll say it again, she makes me care. Like, I want to care. I care now. I'm like, I care about her. I care about Weston. I care about, and I'm interested in these new characters. I'm really sort of,
I'm loving it.
There's life back into the show that maybe had some trouble last season.
I'm excited to see where this goes. Let me ask you a question, Nando Velasquez.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mike Weston watch. We got some. You got anything to say about it? You got any thoughts?
like I said, I'm sticking to it. You know what? I will say this. Unfortunately, our Wi-Fi is down. No, our Wi-Fi is down, and it really pisses me off because you know how you guys were bragging about you being right 2 weeks ago.
110%.
How many? What percentage?
110.
110%.
110%.
We were so right. It is mathematically impossible to have been as right as we were.
I don't care because you know what? There was somebody in iTunes, if you look at the most recent one, unless someone else posted since then, who put in the subject line, Nando is right. That's exactly what they said. And
if
it was
your
all
mom
about Weston.
learned how to use a computer,
all about
that
Weston.
is not.
My mom does not know how to use a computer. Does not know. She still calls me up to set up the timer on the VCR. So I know it's not her.
Right.
Somebody out there is agreeing with me. I'm starting to sway the crowd here, so I'm sticking to it. Hey, he really wants to know what, about Ryan's...
110%.
110. Sure. 110.
Fact.
All right.
With every minute, that becomes ancient and ancient history. Within every minute.
First, you need to get your mom a DVR. That's the first thing. Second of all,
She really likes her tapes. She likes to watch her stories on tapes.
I need to watch my story.
my stories. Why is Mrs.
Her
Velasquez?
Latin American soap opera.
Okay, I was gonna say, what
I don't know why. Her
else is it?
telenovelas.
All right. Let's do this. It is time to get in. We got any news and gossip this week?
I do not. We don't have Wi-Fi, so I can't even.
So
look
we
anything
don't
up.
have any tickety. All right.
We don't have any
If you wrote in.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
That's our predictions thing.
Thank you very much. Marissa Serafini, our producer, is reminding us that it's time for predictions. Sorry if we didn't get to the tickety this week. We will get to it next week. Our Wi-Fi is down.
especially you who said I was right. I want to do a special.
Yeah, whoever that person
you were.
was.
Yes,
Yeah,
and the
whatever.
European woman who.
Whoever that quote
person was. Take down the post so that it's no longer there, and then we can just have Nando flip out. All right, let's get into some predictions.
was there.
Yeah.
Joe Braswell, what are your predictions?
Oh.
He doesn't like to go Julia first.
We're going first with Joe Braswell.
I
Tables are
love
turned.
this.
Did you see that? The tables have turned.
Wow. Look, I gave a lot of my. I think that my prediction is, well, actually, one thing we didn't really talk about is this whole sort of Leslie Bibb, the two.
With Mendez.
Mendez.
Oh, we didn't talk about it,
We didn't
did
really
we?
get into that. I
That
think
big spoiler. That was
Yeah.
awesome. That big
yeah,
twist.
so I think that is something that's going to really somehow give Joe leverage. I think we're going to find that the power struggle that's going to happen between Joe and Angelina Jolie is something I'm interested to see, and how Valerie and Joe slowly but surely be able to take over that mansion and take the power away from the mom. And I think that whole FBI thing will be a part of that, because I think he has a lot of leverage and a lot of things to work with for whatever plan he has this season.
That's a great point, because that is his only leverage right now. He's got Agent Mendez's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, which is probably why I didn't want to kill her.
Ex-partner.
Right. I also predict that she is going to be killed. Actually, she will be killed by Mandy. That's my other prediction.
Jana.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, because Joe will be like, now you can kill her.
Done.
Yeah. It'll be like one of those moments.
All right, Julia Cearly, never mind. Nando Velasquez, what are your predictions?
No matter what time you get to Julia, it's still going to be too early for her.
I know.
That's true.
It's still going
I'm
to
already
be.
panicking. You're just prolonging the inevitable over here.
One since Joe brought up something, I want to bring up something else too. I thought was interesting about Giselle. Giselle getting away from Ryan and Max. Very different type of scene than last week when Lily got away from Ryan. You know how cool, calm, and collected Lily was, grabbing the scarf and the cell phone from the side. Meanwhile, I thought it was really interesting. Giselle just pure, adrenaline, like kicking ass and staying in her black hat and everything, just going by there. I thought that was really interesting, and also we got to hear her speak English for the first time. He's got a gun or something. Yeah. But anyway, I like your prediction. I don't think Mandy would kill Jana, but I do feel that Joe is going to be using Jana a lot this season to get at Lily. to try and do background
That's going
checks
to be
on
his only
Lily.
leverage. You're
in
100% right.
fact, I would say Joe is to Jana what Ryan is to Max. So they both got their inside person in the FBI or NYPD to use that. So I think it's kind of interesting. To get really geeky, it's almost like both Batman have oracles. So it's really interesting.
Oh, Max is such an oracle, by the way. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did we even mention that before?
What? Oracle?
How Max is like,
Yeah, oracle. Like Oracle to Batman. But we didn't mention that.
We're being super comic book nerdy.
Sorry, you guys don't get it.
Nerd.
You guys don't really get it.
That reference.
I'm sure he would.
Yes.
I'm sure he's jumping up and down.
The one thing that is interesting about this group of this new cult or whatever it's going to be, the mansion full of the people doing the thing, they're all exposed. They're all in the lamb. They're all people who are in hiding, including, Mama Jolie. Like, she's outed, so she can't be strutting around town. Joe Carroll. He can't be strutting around town. The twins are out. People know who the twins are. Valerie Curry, she can cut her hair into mini mohawks if she wants.
Yeah, she'll be recognizable.
They know who she is.
Yeah.
So the only person that's really in this crew that's not exposed at Femme Fatale, we know she's on the train on the run, is really Mandy. So unless they bring some people, there's no one who can be out in the world doing stuff for them.
Well, Mandy, the French cooks, and the new twins.
And the new twins, yes.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that are not so far exposed. That's a really good point, though. I mean, what I've learned about New England from this show is that there are tons of places that you can just go to and disappear.
Tons of giant mansions.
Tons of giant mansions.
Surrounded by trees.
Yes.
Who knew?
Trees everywhere.
Trees and mansions.
Julia Cearly, you next.
What was my name?
Julia Cearly, you're next. I said it really fast.
Okay, I am going to predict that Joe is going to make contact with Hardy. I think he's gonna make his presence known.
Oh, cool.
And Ryan will feel pretty vindicated with that one. I think Emma's jealousy is going to rage in this next episode, which I very possibly will bring she and Joe closer together again.
Right.
Mandy's jealousy will rage, but it'll be quiet. And that will explode later down the line. And I don't know what the relationship is between Lily and Joe yet, or their past relationship, but I'm really excited to find out.
Cool, yay.
Me too. I'm gonna give this, and this is a dark and unpleasant one for me because I like her very much, but I think our girl Max Hardy is not long for this earth. I give her another 2-3 episodes, and
she ain't gonna make it.
She ain't gonna make it.
I disagree, but go ahead.
I'd love to be wrong, but I'm telling you.
I'm with you, Joe.
I have a far-fetched prediction here, though, when it comes to our girl Max. The first 2 times we've been introduced to her, they talk about her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's the chef from San Francisco or wherever he's from. I think he is a follower of sorts, or he is a child of Lily Gray.
Right.
And I think that will infiltrate this storyline.
That's a better prediction than mine.
This is the longest predictions ever, but I forgot about. There's also some sparks happening with her and Weston. I let Max and Mike Weston have.
So Weston's the follower. That's the boyfriend that's really the follower.
And we've come full circle.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, well, that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We'll be back next week for more following. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful week. Mr. Braswell, where can we find you?
On Instagram and Twitter at Joe K. Braswell. One and the same. Also, here with the rest of you guys doing Hannibal starting soon, Bates Motel starting soon, American starting soon,
and True Detective.
That's
highly rated.
Currently going down, and
The Blacklist.
That's a lot of shows.
That's a lot of shows.
We have a heavy spring coming.
Indeed. Nando Velasquez, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Nandovel, Nandovel.
Someone should write this down.
Someone should write my name down, like me. And also, I also do Walking Dead on here, besides all these wonderful shows that I do with you guys.
Julia Cearly, where can we find you?
You can find me on the Twitter. What is it? It's my name, Julia Cearly, JuliaCearley. Oh, you made me trip up on my own name. Same thing
What is
for
happening?
Instagram. Find me there, and then find me here all the time with these dudes for Hannibal, Blacklist, True Detective, yada yada. I'm here.
And you can find me on the Twitters at Joe Flippo, JoeFlippo, and on my website, josephsanfelippo.com. And, of course, here with these people, we've covered that. You guys have a beautiful week. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.